You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's True Blood After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's True Blood After Show.
Ooh, we get the theme music. Again, I love those.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm not going to sing it, I promise. Hey guys, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another True Blood wrap-up. Season 5, Episode 8, Somebody I Used to Know. I am Jenna Busch here with...
Hello, everybody. I'm Yerman.
And I'm JC Bacon Rubio.
Oh, bacon.
Yeah. We'll be talking about bacon a little bit later on the show.
No, we won't.
Okay, no, we...
JC's all over the place. He's sniffing people.
What is
He's channeling his inner werewolf.
Okay,
Yep.
I did it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you had to.
I'm back.
I saw you look at my shoulder.
You were about to smell him again.
You were about to go for the shoulder, and you're like, no.
I was gone last week, so I'm happy to be back. And
Welcome back.
Gonna be double trouble, and I'm literally gonna just wolf out right now.
Wolf it.
Okay.
Teen wolf it
All
out.
right, so the last week you were doing pelvic thrusts by my ear, and this week you're smelling him. I mean, the week before last.
Wow, you do remember everything.
Yeah.
I do.
Wow.
Well, that's hard to forget.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right.
Let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in. All right, I have the authority at first, but I kind of want to save that one.
Sure.
Okay.
So let's start with the fairies. Better, worse?
Where do we start with the fairies? Actually, I don't know if this is from the book. I was talking to a friend of mine who's read all the books, and when they did the chant, when they were trying to recall Sookie and just everything that happened to her parents, I believe they called it ectoplasmic reconstruction.
Wow.
That is from the books.
Did we just get Ghostbusters just then with
Did
the
a little bit.
ectoplasmic?
Do you guys remember Ecto Cooler?
Oh, yeah.
High C, green High
yeah.
C with
Yeah.
Slimer on the... Sorry.
No.
Yeah, it was awesome. So,
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I do, I think.
I'm learning
Yes.
something new I've been here 2 minutes, and I've already learned about
you learned about High C.
Yeah.
Ecto Cooler. Okay, well, here's what I think. I think that I am less angry about the fairies this week.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. They let Claude speak, which was nice.
Which is nice to see him form words.
We saw Claudette, who had a line, and they made this big deal. I know I've said this before about casting her before the season started, and she just hasn't been around, and we're on episode 8. So she actually spoke, and now we have the mystery of creepy vampire whose name I wrote down but can't remember.
Wallow?
Was Wallow.
Warlow?
I thought it was Wallow as well, but I think we just weren't catching the rolled R in the British accent, and
Okay.
Sookie said it was Warlow.
Okay.
Okay, who is Warlow? That's what I want to know. It's not from the books, right?
No, not that I can recall.
So we've definitely veered from the path.
Yeah. Oh, guys, before I forget, make sure you guys go to iTunes, subscribe, and make sure you rate us really nicely, please, because we love you very much. Make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, and tweet us and call in for the show today. If you guys, so if that guy is in the books and I've just totally forgotten and blanked on it, let us know. But yeah, they didn't bother me.
No. And for all of us geek fans that like the superhero superpowers thing, we actually got for the first time a reasonable explanation of at least something that these fairies can do that's a cool power.
Right.
You know, they can harken back and they can reconnect with people's energies and or the energy of the universe, actually, from what I understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I had a little trouble with that scene, actually, with the recreating her parents' death.
Right.
How did Sookie still see what happened after her mom died? Because she said that she was seeing it through her mom.
Well, she was first seeing it through her mom, and then she switched into the vampire, and so that's what they can't figure out because
Right.
they don't know why she shouldn't be able to do that.
So is it Bill?
I don't think it's Bill. I think Bill probably would have felt too guilty when he used to be a nice person, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he would have been able to hide that. But I think this is probably somebody new that we don't know. Because I didn't recognize the jawline unless I'm completely off.
That's weird. I was doing the exact same thing. I was
Yeah.
looking really closely at that jawline,
Yeah.
thinking, who? But I couldn't place it either.
I know. At first, I was like, "Is it going to be one of the usual suspects? Is it going to be Russell? Is it going to be?" But I mean, what would Russell need to hunt on the road for?
Could they conceivably bring someone totally new at this point, or is that
Well-
just one too many?
Considering how many storylines we have going.
True, but that's why I'm
the
asking.
hell
Like,
not?
I guess.
Well, what'd you guys think about that? Too many stories? Like tonight,
Yeah, it
tonight
was
was
a lot.
directed by Steven. Steven Moore directed the episode.
Right.
And see, I actually liked it.
Oh, I like the episode and I like the direction. I just think at this point there are so many storylines going on that you're like, wait, I got to take notes whether I'm doing a show like this or not.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
don't you think out of all the episodes, like let's say even last week's, I didn't think they gave Terry enough time.
Right.
Terry and the Freet storyline was so short. And this week had such a balance. There were so many storylines. I don't know how he did it, but I thought he did a great job giving each storyline its due.
Right.
He really balanced it out.
You know what? Let's move on to that because that was a really interesting. We'll start with Lafayette because I wondered how long they were going to keep up the lip thing because that's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
But I like that Jesus is finally back. It was something I was kind of hoping would happen earlier in the season because I love him and they're so cute. Once you have to kill him off. But I thought that was kind of cool and I loved old Lafayette back.
Yeah.
Favorite scene. That was my favorite scene of the episode. For some reason, throughout all the chaos, it was just a quiet, short, beautiful scene between the two of them in amidst of all the chaos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've been doing that a few times here in the season, and it's been really nice to see those little interludes kind of sneak in every once in a while to break up the frantic note-taking that we're all doing
know,
just to be able to keep up with, as we said, all the storylines that have been thrown out at this point. It's nice to all of a sudden be like, repose, and we're back.
Yeah. And I thought the medium thing was fun. I liked him shaking his bracelets. That was fantastic.
It was very Psychic
That's
Friends
fantastic.
Network.
It
Yeah.
was. It totally was.
But he owned that scene as well as even just the scene where he's like,
owns everything.
I'm about to go smoke a blunt and business about to get booming. Just everything he says, he does it. He's just a phenomenal actor. Very, very natural. I buy everything he does.
Oh yeah,
Every
I love
nuance.
him. We
Phenomenal.
love you.
Okay, I've got a little tweet here from Temporal Death.
Yes.
Excellent.
It said, Claude and Warlow were doing the dirty. That or she's his mommy. That's his theory on it.
Huh. Okay.
Just some food for thought.
Interesting. All right. We will. I mean, I don't even feel like I can speculate.
Yeah, that's the
on
thing.
Warlow yet.
That one came out of left field for me. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know. Correct me if this sounds weird to you guys. I just don't feel like I care who killed her parents. You know?
Really? Okay.
It just seems like just another crazy storyline to throw in. It's like, can't we just wrap up the ones we have?
Yeah.
Right, because
You know?
for the first 4 seasons, we gloss upon it in the beginning and throughout slightly, but it wasn't a big, heavy theme throughout the whole series. And for
Right.
it now to come back all of a sudden, I do like Jason's passion about it, though.
I love Jason.
Yeah. And
Well, I'm wondering why they needed to add yet another element. I mean, Sookie, the whole Stackhouse family already has an established kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, history with the vampire world.
Right.
They have connections. They're on again, off. They love them. They hate them. So that relationship has already been established, and we already get that they're from a fairy background.
Right.
So now I'm just wondering why they're adding yet another element of why they're connected. Because we've been buying that they are up until now. And now it's all of a sudden, oh, well, there was a vampire in their history. Oh, well, the parents are fairies. And it just seems like yet another reason to just continue, like just extra scenes. And I'm just trying to figure out why we're being given even more information that doesn't necessarily add to tensions that were already there for me personally.
Yeah. I feel like Sookie hasn't, weirdly enough, been given that much this season. It's in fact, Sookie has been probably the least visible of everybody outside of maybe Terry, and we still got his big scene.
Sure.
So it's sort of maybe they just needed to do something with her.
is it because of her pregnancy, perhaps?
Could be.
They were writing around it.
I mean, it depends when because I guess she was supposed to be. Todd Lowe had said in an interview that she would be due right around season 6, so the beginning of season 6.
Okay.
So, and I know they had to do a lot of body cover with her. So it's possible. It's possible that they threw that in there. It's possible that they already had it, but. Either way, I don't know. It just seems like you can't just tie her into the other stories. You're going to give her something else that we got to remember. Okay. I mean, and guys, please, if you disagree with me, tell me what you think. It's not that I dislike Sookie. It's just that I don't particularly like this storyline. But you know what? Maybe it'll be great. This is just the beginning of it.
Like JC keeps saying, everything they throw on everything for a reason. There's always some reason why they throw elements in, and maybe they really do have this ridiculously overarching synthesis of this whole thing that's going to come together. We're all going to just our jaws are going to drop at the end of this thing. And go, oh, I get it.
Right,
that's possible.
Yeah, it certainly is. And also, I don't know if you guys have read recently, but Gran is going to be back in some form. So maybe this may be part of that storyline.
Possibly.
But
yeah.
I like Gran.
Gran is great.
Gran was awesome.
Gran was a great character.
She's coming back.
Yeah.
How did that slip through my cracks? Rats. No, because I knew she came back in season 4, and then okay. So
no, but she'll be back this season. At least this is what I've read. So
Right.
Usually that means that's when all the blankety blank hits the fan. She comes to kind of save the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the end of last season. So.
Yeah.
Well, she should come along because there's some blankety blank thrown around all over the place in these episodes. I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot about that. That's right. And it's just crazy.
Yeah.
One scene after another.
Yeah, and I mean it all does fit in with the theme of the season, which is progeny and all of that. So speaking of progeny, Pam and Tara.
Awesome.
So brilliant. Okay, Pam's line.
Yeah, please.
My mad face and my happy face are the same.
That's right.
Love that. I
That's
love
right.
that.
That was
I
fantastic.
needed a Pam line. It'd been like a few weeks since we had a little Pam.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. No, all right. So how much did we love that? Because when she came over and tried to calm Tara down, I was like, you're going to let this woman get away with saying uppity? Really? Like, come on. Even you can't be that gross. And I love how she handled it.
They've got
love
a
it.
really great dichotomy now. Like she constantly puts, I guess she keeps Tara on her toes, but it's really nice to, in public, she's the boss. And then when you least expect it, like 5 seconds later, she'll do something really compassionate and wonderfully motherly, like protective. And like, okay. So that's where true Pam is. The other thing is just a facade.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
with that said, she's done that a few times this season, with Pam and Tara, but what does it mean in the overall scope of the show? What does their relationship how does it fit into what's going on this season? I know you're saying about, progeny and whatnot, but I mean, beyond that, the wars, the things going on with the fairies, the vampires, what does it really have to do with it? For me, this storyline, I'm not feeling it, and
Really?
I'm not feeling it right now.
I love this. You know what? I think the thing that I like about it is that it made me actually like Tara. Because I have never been a fan of Tara. And I know there are a number of you out there who agree it's just the whiny thing. And I like seeing her not whine. And it's kind of awesome. I like seeing her powerful because she's actually a really good actress, and I like what she's doing this season. But I kind of like seeing Pam go from just being a sidekick into an actual character, because Pam's always been great. She's always had the great lines. She's been really funny, but she's been secondary to Eric. And having Eric off doing his own storyline, I think it's really cool to see Pam turn into a real character with depth, with a history, and with the ability to change, which is something like she's been the same through all of the seasons, and now she's something different. Yeah. And I kind of think that's cool.
I totally agree with you. I think Tara to me is much more fun to watch as an angst-ridden vampire than she was an angst-ridden human.
Yeah.
There's, I guess, maybe a little bit less of that whiny component you just mentioned. Now it's like that anger kind of feeds into her being a kind of a rebellious vampire. Having said that, my take on it is that this really does a little bit for me tie into this like this big theme that they're doing now, where vampires are trying to view, there's that battle between viewing them as food versus people you share the planet with. Obviously, Pam does not necessarily protect humans the way, I don't know, Bill might, because as far as she's concerned, she'll just glamour somebody, give her to Tara, and be like, okay, have fun. So she's a little more dismissive about that, which might tie into the fact that when it comes time to choose sides, Pam, I think you'd mentioned this actually a few episodes back. Like,
I know exactly what scene it was.
Right.
It was the scene where she was waking Tara up and brought Melody over. I can't believe I remember her name. That's weird. But brought her over and said, they're here to feed us.
Yes.
So she does sound like a sanguinista. So it really will be interesting to see what side she chooses. Also, will it make a difference the side that Eric's on? Because though she's not, like, he has repudiated, I can't even think of the word. He's
Repudiated, you had it right.
Yeah,
Repudiated.
Wow, a long day. But he repudiated her, but she still loves him. So will she go with the Sanguinistas because she doesn't really care about humans that much, or will she go with Eric?
And that's the point. I want to know what's next. I've seen the Pam Tara thing. Pam showing her softer side. We've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
Let's move them on. Let's move them on to the bigger mission at hand.
That's a really interesting point you came up with, and I didn't think of it until just now when I thought, if we ever do predictions like in the midst of the show, that's interesting to see if that is something that they play with. The fact that Eric becomes someone who develops a little more of a, I don't know what you want to call it, conscience, but his world crumbles because of obviously what's going on between him and Nora is now crumbling slowly. Obviously, him and Pam, he had to disavow her. I don't know. Maybe that will become something that maybe they will choose opposite sides. Even his buddy Bill, to move a little bit forward in the episode, we'll get to that. But even Bill and him are kind of having differences of opinion, possibly, although it's, there might be underlying motives there. But that would be interesting to see if Eric's world starts changing on him.
And Roth's been calling that for weeks. I remember she always said what side are, Bill and Pam, Eric and Pam are going to fall on if they're going to split. They're going to go different ways. So maybe, I hope. I love us speculating on stuff because it makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. Oh, you want to speak about interesting. I'm going to get to your favorite part of the show because I know how much you've been waiting for this.
Please.
Guys, if you want to buy something from Amazon, make sure you go to AfterBuzz TV, click on the Amazon banner. It'll take you right back to Amazon. It just takes a second, and we get goodies so we can bring you more goodies. And as we know, I generally drunk purchase. Yes. I bought some things for everybody last week, some bacon chocolate and bacon lip balm on Amazon.
Good.
And JC wasn't here, so I delivered his today. And I'd just like to put this out there. JC would like to be the spokesperson for bacon.
I really do. It's really on my bucket list.
He's not kidding. I really hope that didn't melt in my car because it might have.
Actually, you know what? A little bit did.
Oh my God.
I was going to apply it on the show.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, look.
A little melty. Still going to smell like bacon.
It's melting bacon.
I just applied the bacon lip balm that you got on Amazon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Now my hands smell like bacon.
But don't you want to be the spokesperson for bacon? Shouldn't you smell like bacon all the time?
That's true. You do have a bacon-esque aroma.
Hey.
De bacon.
Are you? You're smelling his
Oh my
hands.
God.
That's all right. We need to move on
let's move on.
you want to eat
Let's
that
do it.
chocolate. All right. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about, just since we were talking about stuff in the club, let's talk about Hoyt and Jessica. I kind of love this storyline because as we've spoken about this before, but when Hoyt went into that group, that hate group, I was like, really, Hoyt? Really? Come on.
Yeah.
I know he has eyeliner and he's really, really pissy right now, but I'm sorry, he's not going to go and hang out with a hate group. He's Hoyt.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Did anyone buy that line? And did anyone buy that storyline that he
No.
No.
No,
I didn't
not
think
at
so.
all. Not at all. I mean, I could see him like talking to them at a club, but I certainly couldn't see him sticking around with them and then kidnapping Jessica. Like that's ridiculous. And I don't know, did you guys catch who that was hitting on her in the club? Because I didn't.
The guy who
yeah,
took her.
it was the guy
Yeah,
that took
I
her.
know who it was, but I mean, when I was watching it at first, I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't realize it.
Well, I figured it might be, but
Yeah,
it was
I
just
totally
a
didn't get
hunch.
it. Yeah, I totally didn't get it. But anyway, but I like this storyline. I've liked this storyline since last season. I think it's real. I mean, sometimes things like that happen. Like you fall out of love with someone, and I thought that whole triangle with Hoyt and Jessica and Jason was real, and I thought it was probably the most poignant of all the storylines last year. I do believe that he would save her though now,
Yeah,
so it's like
absolutely.
Hoyt's back again.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think I was theorizing that he was trying to infiltrate that group, but I was wrong on that account. But I did like the fact that he did end up on Team Jessica in the end of it, and I thought that
Even
was
though
a
he
really
still hates her.
yeah. But the thing is, that was a really nice. I mean, as real as it can be between a vampire and a human, that was a really nice way of them kind of putting closure on their relationship. He's like, "Are you sure it can never happen?" Yes, I am. That was, to me, that was real, and it was an interesting way for them to just kind of, part ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jessica's acting, just the way I see it, as a typical teenager. I mean,
Yeah.
she's going out, she's finding her sexuality, she's hooking up with guys, she's seeing what kind of power she has over them.
Right.
And it's, and then she sort of falls in love, but it doesn't work like this. She's totally a teenager.
I'm going to be Debbie Downer.
Oh, what are you going to do? Didn't I just get you bacon?
You did, but I got 2 weeks of True Blood in me to talk about here, and I have to say, I'm missing the surprises. And here's the thing, I love Jessica to death. I knew it wouldn't happen, but what if he would have just turned in? What if he would have shot Jessica? I'm missing, no, believe me, she's one of my favorite characters on the. But what I'm saying is, I'm missing it was predictable. It was predictable that he wasn't gonna join the hate group. It was predictable that he wasn't gonna hurt Jessica. Good point. Yeah. I want something. I want those aha moments that we're like, oh no, like when Roman was off like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm missing some more of that. And I'm not saying kill Jessica, but something. Give me something that even that there. I'm just.
Well, the question I think that we definitely have to ask either both ourselves and the public, but so who was it that was in the truck that stops for Hoyt and points the gun?
I think I know.
Do you?
I have an idea.
Tell us your idea.
I think it's the deputy.
The deputy?
Really?
Yes, because watching it, who
what, Crazy Kevin?
Yes, thank you, Kevin. I was trying to remember if his name was Kevin. Yeah, because Kevin's very, hi guys, I'm very sweet. Hi, having a good time, everybody.
I do love his voice.
But
it is pretty good.
But who has all this information on the shifters? Who would know how to find, let's say, Merlotte's, the shifters they killed a few weeks ago, and how do they know this? Who's tipping them off? There's got to be someone that knows who all the shifters are, and I think it could be a cop. I think it's someone on the inside. And the fact when they were describing, when they busted in on Hoyt and Jessica, and they were, and Luna came in and she's like, smells like of a bad diet, Cheetos, and we all thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Hoyt's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Hoyt's mom, even the deputy, someone's that knows, that's inside, that knows these characters, that knows the people at Merlotte's, knows Sam, knows all these people. That's what I'm waiting. I want to find out. It's Maxine and Kevin.
Well,
Maxine and Kevin,
why would you
interesting.
throw that angle too? Once again, yet another thing. I'm like, wait, where's that going? How are they going to? But that's constantly how I watch the show now. It's okay. So if it is Maxine, then.
Okay, but she's not going to hurt Hoyt. I mean, when they drove up, and I was like, well, it kind of.
That would be an interesting. I just don't know exactly how they'd bring that around. Is that a way to get Hoyt back into the game, so to speak?
I think it was Kevin in the truck.
Kevin in the truck.
The deputy.
Yeah, because I don't think it was Maxine in the truck. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that she's part of it.
Yes.
Right. No, we're talking about. We're saying Maxine was part of the household, but I mean, even if Kevin was in the truck, then what's his beef with Hoyt?
Oh, just that he was with a vampire.
It's going to come along. It's going to come along that somehow the vamps ended up killing one of his parents or something like that, and that's why he's had this lifelong beef with the vamps and shifters and soups in general.
Gotcha.
Someone like that.
Interesting.
It's a little scream.
Well, it's funny because today when they had him sitting outside of Luna's hotel room, I was like, I knew something as soon as he said, "Good night, Mr. Merlotte." I was like, why are you calling him by name? Why are they giving you this line? What are you sitting out there for? I don't quite get it. I know he's protecting her, but I really don't quite get it, except that, unless they were setting it up.
Yep.
They're setting up something. So I did wonder about that when I saw
Interesting.
it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but
And
you're right.
I just want to get. I know I don't know if we're going to talk about Sam yet, but I just love when he was running out of that hospital room.
Oh yeah, we can actually move to Sam because all right, let's talk about butt. Asses. There were a lot this week.
Yeah.
How many butts did you count? Did you see that?
Let's see. It saw Sam's once or twice. There were a lot of butts.
Yeah, we saw Alcide.
Oh, yes, we did. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. We had Alcide, we had Sam, and we had Alcide's girly as well. That's 3.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you guys can look at the boobs all you want.
We'll get into that later, but
Yep.
no, but I wanted to more so talk about when Sam. Okay,
You want to talk about the butts anymore?
I don't want to talk about the butts just yet. I just want to talk about
They're nice butts.
They
Oh
look
my
like
God.
they work out. Yes,
He just wants to talk about Sam.
All right, talk about Sam and his butt.
No, how awesome it was when he ran out and Luna as Sam, and he was prancing.
Oh my God, it was so brilliant.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So brilliant. So fantastic. I absolutely loved it. He was so,
Yes, the whole episode when Luna was Sam,
it was so cute.
he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Sam Tremble was awesome.
Oh my God. And then also, I want to know why she shifted into Sam though.
That's a question we were all asking.
Yeah.
Well, what had been the reason how had Tommy shifted into Sam?
Well, it's if you've killed someone.
Okay.
You can shift into a human.
Okay, so then
I killed another shifter.
So yeah, so then it becomes a question of how
Did she kill someone?
Luna was able
Yeah,
to
that's
do it.
what. Yeah, she said that last season.
Okay.
So yeah, so she can shift another human, but why did she spontaneously turn into Sam and wasn't able to turn back
Yeah.
until Sam kissed himself?
And and it's actually her.
That was a really great scene too. That was really, really warm and tender and phenomenal special
And
effects. The fact
funny.
that I never saw a separate at all. It really did look like the two of them were coexisting in real. That's phenomenal.
I almost
Well
wish
done,
he,
SFX team.
he still needed to solve his issues from a few seasons ago when we found out he was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was talking to himself, well, actually to Luna, and he could have been just talking to himself how to get over it and all things are forgiven. I know I'm getting way too deep on him.
That's really deep.
Sorry.
I just think it was funny that he kissed
Yeah.
himself.
She's like, it's way too deep. His butt was nice.
His butt was awesome. It was really cute. No, it is an odd thing. Like the shifter thing. Like I find it funny that all of a sudden they're sniffing around. Like I don't remember there being quite as much sniffing in earlier seasons, but everyone's sniffing everyone.
Yeah, all of a sudden everyone's a bloodhound.
It's like everyone has the bacon lip balm on.
It's weird.
He's so happy. Look at him. Look at JC.
And this whole time we've been talking, all I've smelled is eau de bacon. Oh my god!
And
What
now
is
you're
wrong with-
smelling your
I
mom.
told you
Please
I'm
don't
gonna be
get the eau de bacon on me.
I'm not gonna get the eau de bacon on you, but I'm just, it's a wolf episode. I'm feeling very Alcide.
You have the same shirt that Joe Manganiello has.
He
Apparently.
filled it out much better than I.
Can we
so.
talk about his butt?
No, we're
Oh,
done.
I
Moving
really
on.
think we should.
Let's halfway. Let's meet her halfway.
Okay.
We'll give you 30 seconds to talk about Alcide's butt. Ready, go.
Oh my God, his butt was so hot. The two of you asked if he waxed it. I'm just pointing that out. So they were looking at it. That was okay. If you're going to have werewolf sex, I'm a big fan of this. Did you see the werewolf sex? That was awesome.
10 seconds.
Oh my God, his butt is awesome. And
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're done. Good.
Time.
All right.
but we can talk about werewolf sex.
Yes, we
Let's
can
do
talk
it.
about that scene because
Wow.
yeah, he just
Wow.
he tossed her like a frisbee.
Sure.
Yes, he did. That was.
How did that compare? Okay, a few months ago, I read an article about Steven directing this episode, and he said that the sex was going to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
was going to
was.
be the best sex scene out of all the seasons of True Blood.
Yeah, it
Wh-
was.
Really?
I didn't,
Do you
I
think
didn't-
it's okay?
I didn't find that to be the case.
Oh, I did.
What
It
about
was a little comical.
No, it was
I mean,
awesome.
he like jumped onto the bed and he's like, "Rawr!"
Because he's
Come
a
on.
wolf. All right. I am the only girl here today, but Roth would back me up on this. And Roth, next week when you come on the show, I want you to back me up on this. Aggressive sex,
Yes.
very good.
Absolutely. Well, Eric and Nora had it, yes, but I'm talking about the best
Yeah, but
scene.
that wasn't a cargo thing.
But was that the best sex scene you've seen in True Blood?
Yes.
What about the one where Bill comes up from the grave and has sex with Sookie from the grave? And he's dead. And he's in that dirt, and he just pulls
covered
her.
in
Not really
dirt.
turned on
Covers
by
it.
dirt. Nope. Nope, that was the best sex scene.
Okay,
hands
hold on.
down.
What if it was Alcide coming through the grave, grabbing Sookie with the dirt?
I'd make him shower first.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thought it might just be an Alcide thing with Jenna, but obviously
No,
not.
no. I like Eric, Bill. No, they're all very hot. They're all very, very hot gentlemen. But no, but it was the actual mechanics of the whole thing.
mechanics,
It's
okay.
very,
Gotcha.
Very nice.
Good to
Well,
know.
so now what's going on with Alcide, obviously? So I mean, that scene was just the beginning of a whole Alcide bit. When I'm ashamed to say I'm kind of sad he got his butt kicked. That
I'm
was
sad he
sad
got
to
his
see.
butt kicked too, but I do think he's been consistent character-wise.
Yes.
He keeps doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's what everyone
was
likes
nice to
about him.
see.
Yeah, Alcide, that's who Alcide is. He always
Right.
does the right thing. The fact that the rest of the pack thinks that some guy who's on V and wants to hunt a man,
Yeah.
kid, and kill him, and not even for sport, because I mean, if he was using it as a ploy to get Alcide to back down, okay, fine, but then he's still going to do it.
Right.
That the fact that the rest of the pack is okay with that means they're idiots.
Well, that also puts Martha now in a really weird. Like, let's see how she navigates
her.
position, because obviously, she's a matriarch of that pack, but she obviously doesn't buy into the new JD. So
Well,
it'll
he
be
tried to
interesting.
give drugs to the
Yeah,
kid.
and we'll see. Now that she's also able to be part of Emma's life, we'll see how if she becomes an ally of Alcide as opposed to part of the pack. We'll see how her.
I think
loyalties
she's gonna.
fall.
I think she's gonna be an Alcide ally. I definitely think so.
Completely moving over there. And we've always known that werewolves are not the sharpest the spoons in the drawer.
The sharpest spoons.
Exactly.
Sure.
I think you mean knives.
No,
Sure.
No, you
no,
mean
he said it
spoons?
on purpose.
Just sharp
I did it on
spoons?
purpose.
All right, that was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
See?
Okay, I like it. Eat
Nope.
some chocolate.
Okay. I'm gonna eat chocolate. Well, carry on.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think Martha has been a good person since the beginning, even though she beat up Sam. You know, whatever.
Well, but she was
she had a
she was being
reason.
protective. Yeah, she was being a
Right.
mom.
Yeah, no, I actually really like her. I think, and again, I know we say it every week, but casting was fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little sad that JC is running everything. He's a very lovely actor. I got to talk to him on the red carpet, and he's so sweet. And his eyes are like incredibly freakishly blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't really see it in the show, but it's like Daniel Craig eyes. You
Gotcha.
can't blink. You're like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
They just pull you in.
A little bit, yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that you called him JC.
Weird.
Well. All right, but you think Alcide's going to win in the end, don't you?
Yeah. It's
Well, I don't think there's any other choice. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I mean, obviously, from the previews of next week's episode or the upcoming episodes, we see where they're tying in that whole V addiction of JD's and probably the packs to bringing them back to Mr. Russell.
Yeah.
So obviously that's going to go south, and I don't know if that entire pack is going to go south, but definitely the major players are, which will either mean that Alcide will take over and change things and make things better, hopefully, or maybe that pack is done and Alcide will find another place for himself.
I like Alcide. I would take him in.
Yeah.
Totally would.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with your first theory on
Yeah.
that one. I
Yeah.
think it's just figuring out how to get there.
Exactly.
You know.
All right. Well, we have come to the portion of the show in which we discuss the authority. And I wanted to leave this until the end because there is so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Should we almost take a break?
I feel like maybe we should.
Maybe we should take a
Let's
break.
take a commercial break and then we'll come back with the authority.
Ooh.
The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AfterBuzz TV. And why? Because AfterBuzz TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows, like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AfterBuzz TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AfterBuzz TV goodness. Check them out, give them a holler, and tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
Good old Willie Bear.
All right. JC is eating
we're
his
back.
bacon chocolate now. What is the verdict?
Next week I'm sitting across you because I've got nothing but bacon in my nostrils. Oh
He's
my
breathing
God.
bacon.
Just breathe,
what is the
Buck
verdict on
Hone.
the bacon chocolate?
Kind of tastes like human. Tastes like human.
Oh my God.
Honestly.
Okay.
You got to take a break every once in a while more often because you come back with a thunder.
Oh, hell yeah. No, seriously.
Oh, hell yeah.
If I was Russell, I would think this would taste like a mighty fine human right now. I really do. I think this tastes like human. I'm not kidding.
Okay,
So-
I believe you.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
disturbed. I'm disturbed.
All right, let's talk about.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
all right,
Let's start off with how trippy they were right at the beginning of the episode. Peter Mensa, who I loved in Spartacus and still adore, tripping over a light bulb was the funniest thing ever. He's just like, oh my God, light. We've all been there,
Yeah.
haven't we?
Yeah.
But that was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is how Eric snapped Bill out of it. Because did you notice that? Eric
Yes.
was like, he was talking to Bill, and all of a sudden Bill's not tripping anymore. Mm-hmm. What was that?
I don't know.
Like, I get that Eric was shocked out of it by seeing his
Godric,
maker, but
yeah.
I don't get how he snapped Bill out of it.
Psychosomatic?
Could be. I mean, I guess if you're drunk, somebody can say something to you and you feel like you're sober, even though you're not. But
I feel so bad. I wasn't here last week. I'm sorry. But do you think that, I'm just going to go back and tie it into this
Yeah,
week
sure.
with the authority. Did they really see Lilith, or was that just them tripping?
we don't think that they did. We don't think that
Yeah.
they did, because when Eric looked at Godric and then looked back up at Nora, the Lilith wasn't there.
Good. Okay.
So
That's what
we
he's trying
think-
to convince Bill of.
Right, we
when
think this is hallucination.
When he sobers him up in that quick split
Right.
second. Right.
Right.
And Bill is a very powerful vampire, given his young age. Eric said that many times throughout
Mm-hmm.
this season as well. So maybe that's what snapped him out.
Yeah, that's true. Now, can we talk about the guy with the weird ass face who likes to eat children?
Did we ever get an explanation of why he's got the weird ass face?
They burned him,
They burned him.
but he's a vampire.
But yeah, that's
He
what I was gonna
should
say. And now
heal.
he's fed on little babies, so shouldn't he just be able to heal his face?
I don't understand this.
Why is he stuck in that mode?
Yeah, guys, if you guys have theories on this or you know why, please let
maybe I
us
missed
know.
something.
Call in, tweet us. I'm at Jenna Busch, BUSCH, like the beer, not the president.
Mm-hmm.
You guys?
The everyday man.
Wow, that's it? That's all you got?
I'm the everyday man
spelling
on
or
Twitter.
nothing?
Oh.
Fantastic. I'm Yermonger at Yermonger, YERMANGUR.
Yeah, or leave it in the comments because we really would like
Yeah,
to
by
know
all
what
means.
you think. Because I've never understood why he can't heal. Like, it made sense when he was in the prison and they were
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were
constantly hitting him
constantly
with the UV. But now he's out and feeding on children. And so, and also, like, what they said where he was like, I want a baby. And she's like, okay, go get him a baby. I was like, okay, I think we know what side is good and what side isn't.
Yeah, I almost think they should have just said like, dude, that's kind of weird. Even though we
Even
wanna-
though, I know,
even
right?
though we're feeding on humans, just even that's a little creepy for us. And that
Right.
would have been a cool little wink with not even a wink, but just reflective of a normal
Or
system.
make a joke about, don't you want your drink supersized or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was a little weird because it doesn't make any of those characters redeemable
right
in any way.
It almost almost like a pedophile vampire.
Right, exactly. Like it doesn't make Nora redeemable that she let that go, no matter how strong her belief is. It just, but I mean, I'm sure that's on purpose that they are supposed to look like religious nuts. I mean, that's what I think.
Maybe we just answered the question.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean that does make Nora irredeemable. It does. I mean, I think so. I mean, it certainly makes Salome irredeemable, but I think we already knew that.
The scene after, or that is to say, in the following scenes, Nora pretty much condemns herself when she basically tells Godric to do something bad to himself.
Yep.
Apologist
Yes.
and-
Yeah.
You know, and so at that point, you know, there's no turning back. She's gone.
Well, I think there's always, because if you say there's a character that has no path to redemption, then they're not really that interesting to watch anymore.
Good point.
You know, because if you've got somebody like, say, Russell, who we've learned or through different, I mean, for the red carpet and through different outlets, but he said to me, Dennis O'Hare said to me that, you know, he was going to change his whole idea about life coming back. So he may end up being good. You have somebody like Steve Newland who went a completely different direction. So I think having the opportunity to go completely off what the expected path is really the interesting thing about a character. But I mean, with Nora, I don't know. I feel like Eric might want to try to bring her around, and what she seems like to me is brainwashed. She doesn't seem like somebody who believes. She seems like somebody who's brainwashed.
I
That's why
think
she keeps having to pray, maybe, to keep herself.
No one else does it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
That's a good
she'll
point.
come back. I think when she's at the brink, she'll come back. Eric will bring her back, but I want to know what's Bill's role in all this.
Yeah, Bill's an interesting case because, I mean, Bill's always been a good guy.
But
Has he?
Bill's
Well,
also, but
goodish.
Bill is a very capable politician.
Right.
Yes.
That's,
Or
yeah,
not,
see,
not-
I'm...
maybe not a politician is a weird way of putting it, but he's definitely, when it comes to, you know, moral ground, he kind of navigates the bad and good sides of it a little more skillfully than, say, Eric, who's either completely bad or
Clobbers you over the head.
Yeah,
Like him.
exactly. So it's I mean, it's a little bit disappointing for me to see Bill do that, but there's this weird part of all of us, I think, that also thinks, okay, there's definitely something up his sleeve.
Right,
Obviously, he couldn't possibly be like this all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No, but he was like this in season 3 when he became, you know, when he was playing both sides. That's Bill. As we find out, season 1, he was the sweetest pie.
Yeah.
But as the scenes progress, as the seasons progressed, you see so many layers on Bill. He's nefarious. He's got a lot of things going on underneath.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to find out. We need more of his flashbacks. We're going to find out where points of his life where he turned,
Right.
where it made him jaded. Where he just said at the last quote of this episode, he's evolving.
Yeah.
That's what Roman said a few weeks ago about vampires evolving.
Yeah.
So what's his play? Does he want to be the next Roman? He's no longer. Is he the king of Mississippi now that Russell's back? What's going on? Or does Bill want to go above? Bill could just be this power hungry guy that we've never really gotten to know. But you see these moves. He always goes big.
He does. I'm gonna guess that there is something behind this.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it open because we did see a flashback a bit about him possibly, you know, about him choosing not to change his daughter. Unless, well, we don't actually know. I mean, he may have. We didn't see the end of that scene.
Yeah.
So, because as I was watching that, I was wondering, is his daughter gonna show up? Like, I don't know why I thought that, but
You'll drive Yerman crazy by saying that.
I know, but I wondered. But well, it'll be interesting to see what he does. I tend to think, and maybe it's just because I know the Bill from the books, and maybe I expect him to be playing Alcide. Because if we were going to say it's the blood that corrupted them, then Eric would be corrupted as well.
Well, here's a question. Why isn't Eric also navigating this world? Because it seemed that he's always been presented as a self-serving vampire. And he had political aspirations before Bill did. He was originally the sheriff. So why is Eric taking himself out completely?
I have a theory on it.
Yes.
I think that he's evolved a lot over the seasons. I think after losing his memory, finding out that he wasn't 100% powerful, that people could do things to him, going through what he went through with Sookie, everything that's changed with him, having to deal with Pam. Losing Godric. And that's the thing I think that shook him out of it.
I see.
Because he was fine before that and self-serving enough. He followed them into the room. They came back, but I think it's seeing Godric, because Godric, the first time we saw Sookie and Eric connect was when Godric died. And she came over, and he was sad, sitting on the bed, and she came over and put her hand on his shoulder. And that's the first time we saw him crack, ever. Yeah. So I think it was Godric, and I think it's now seeing Godric again that's gonna change him. But I think it's been a progression, I really do.
Eric and Bill are never on the same page. I mean, we had the bromance the first half of this season.
That was adorable.
Yeah, but they're
we can't say that the bromance is over, though. That's the thing. It just may be that Bill isn't debriefing Eric on his intentions, but then Eric will come into play when Bill's like, okay, so here's what I was trying to do.
Right.
Hopefully. That's at least what we're hoping for, because their bromance was such a great part of this season.
Right. And they may have spoken, and they just played it.
Well, I don't know. Then Eric wouldn't have been like, well, what are you doing? When he asks him at the very, very end, before he said, and that's why when he delivers the evolving line.
Yeah, but there were other people around.
That's true.
Yeah.
Keeping it close to vest. Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Could be. I'm not sure. So what do you guys think of the Authority storyline overall? Because a lot of people have been really kind of annoyed with it. I actually like it. I think it's really cool. I'm still mad about Christopher Maloney, but then everyone's mad about Christopher Maloney, so...
Well, what are you going to do?
I loved him.
I actually enjoy the storyline. I kind of wanted to see this world and possibly this storyline in the first season when they set up the Authority. And then they went different directions, as we've discussed over the last few seasons. So to see now vampire-human relations the way they set it up in the beginning is really cool for me to watch. It's a little overwhelming because now we're talking about big time, and we're going global. They're talking about activating all the cells and taking down all the True Blood factories. So this is like a big. It's not like it's not Bonton anymore. It's not even Louisiana. We're doing the whole globe. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that in the scope of just a show.
Yeah.
Now I have a question. I don't know if you guys know this. How many vampires are there in the world? Did we?
Don't know, but I know that
but we're there in a minority, supposedly.
Well,
right?
at one point, Roman said that there were like 1,000 humans for every vampire.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, you could just make more.
True.
You could do that, but I mean, here's a question for you guys. The fact that Bill came up with that idea about the True Blood factories. Do you think that? I mean, does that sound like it's part of a plan, like a
totally?
Yeah, like
Totally.
That to me sounds like he's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
What could be up his sleeve? He was the biggest proponent of True Blood.
No, but he has a plan. There's something going on.
Bill, what's your plan? I'm dying over here.
He's luring the Authority into a trap, perhaps.
Okay. Okay.
Bill is always 2-3 steps ahead. He is always.
I'm gonna call up Bill on the cell phone real quick and ask him what he's doing.
Can I just point something out quickly?
Yes.
Steve and Russell, totally adorable. Totally so cute.
So yeah, so you guys called that in the beginning when he could definitely take the place.
And Dennis O'Hare lied to me to my face.
That's messed up. How could he ever?
Oh, Michael McMillan came over and they were doing a little dance on the carpet for me, which was so cute. And I said, these two, and he was like, no. Dennis O'Hare, you lied to me. You lied to me. Come on the show and make it better.
There we go. We knew that one was coming.
Yeah,
it's so cute, though. I love it so much. Also, more Steve, please.
Yes.
More Steve Newland. Yeah. I want him to dance again. I want people to send me gifs of him dancing.
Like those little memes or something, or like a little, what is it?
It's a GIF.
A GIF. Thank you. A GIF of Steve Newland dancing.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
So
Fans send us that for sure.
Please. Sorry, I just had to say that. Oh yeah. Also, Russell had one of the best lines of the week. God has the most beautiful tits I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes, I said that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
I said it.
It was a quote. You know,
It was a quote.
Absolutely.
I totally quoted it.
Yeah.
No, we're all ear sugar lumps. That's the one I remember
Yeah.
towards the end.
Oh God, Andy's got great lines.
Oh, yeah.
Every time he insults somebody, I'm like, is that yet another 2 words stuck together to make an insult word? That's fantastic.
Oh, which one was it? Would you like to say it?
Well, doesn't he say fox dick to the guy?
does.
He's like, oh, I never would have thought to put those 2 words together. I'm gonna
No,
just
I
throw
have to
that out
say
there.
I've never thought to put those 2 words together either.
Stackhouse, Jason had had one good line too. I just blanked on it. It was
Oh, I can't remember.
Was it with Sookie?
no, yeah, when they're doing a debriefing with Claude, and oh God, I just blanked on it. I'm ridiculous.
Guys, if you
I'm looking-
remember.
yeah, look
yeah,
at
yeah,
the
it was.
Look at
He's like,
Twitter.
I don't give a what the heck was he? Did he say?
Oh, a twirly something.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't give a twirly. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, Jay Arminson Bell said, "Is there more than one authority? Maybe they'll come in later."
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, there could be other. I get the feeling that this is the single authority. That this is it.
Uh-huh.
And that they've got branches.
Offices around the world.
Right. But that this is the main authority.
Could
Because
Warlow be involved?
could be.
There goes.
Yeah, guys, do you have any theories on Warlow? Just send them
Yeah,
because
that
we're
came out of left field, man.
we're just
No, because they tie everything in, so nothing is done for no apparent reason. There has to be a reason why.
he's got to be connected to something.
Yeah.
They always are.
He has to be. Also, can we not use bloody band-aids? That was really gross. Sorry, it was gross. It's gross.
I just
It's
learned-
been in 3 episodes now.
Didn't know that.
So let me
at
get
it.
this straight. You watched the show, and the peeve you got about it is the bloody
Band-Aid,
Band-Aid.
yes, I'm telling you, I don't care that they've got it all over their faces. I just don't want to see the bloody Band-Aid. It's gross.
Okay.
So what did we learn this
Interesting.
episode about Jenna Busch? Let's see.
She does not like Band-Aids.
Bloody Band-Aids.
Do not.
She loves Alcide butt.
Yes, I do.
And let's see. And last but not least, she
I have
brought
not
me-
eaten bacon in 25 years.
Wow.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Nice.
Love that that's
we
an
go.
exclusive.
You know, one thing I wanted, you guys brought up Andy real quickly. I know
Yeah.
we're just ending up kind of jumbled here, but Andy, why is it every time you see him, he looks more buff? Like literally, is he going to turn
It's
into
working
something?
out. It's working out.
But why? There's got to be a reason why.
I don't think they can ever really change Andy because he is one of the only humans still left in the town.
Yeah.
I mean, who else is human? I mean, and not a witch or
Terry?
something like that. Terry. Well, yes, but Terry's human, and Arlene is human.
All right, so we
I
should
think
save it
there's
for
a-
predictions.
yeah.
Well, there is, I think,
true.
a hint of, or that is to say, an element of the fact that Andy is a little more tough than he used to be,
Mm-hmm.
and that tough, that attitude of
Okay.
his is maybe playing out in his stature, his demeanor, the way he carries himself, which I would think would be totally possible.
I was just wondering just why that choice was made, why he started just buffing out. And it makes sense now that you explained it like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was just trying to figure. There has to be a reason. I believe everything in this show is done for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even,
Oh, yeah.
even Terry buffing up. I mean, Andy buffing
Andy
up.
buffing up.
Hey guys, I have a question. Do you remember a few seasons ago, the end of the season when Renee showed up? Mm-hmm. What happened to that?
Yeah.
And there's silence.
No, I'm trying to remember the exact quote
Yeah.
about Terry being dangerous.
Yeah.
Right,
Wasn't he gonna inhabit him or something? I don't know.
You're gonna make me go watch end of season 2. It was no season 4. Sorry, season 4.
Was it? I thought it was season 3. The end of season 3.
It was season 4, The Witches, when everyone
That's
came
right.
up.
That's right. Okay. So where'd he go? Where
Well,
did he go?
I don't know that he went somewhere particularly, but it's got to be one of those storylines at that point when you think, okay, well, whether or not it's gone, let's just put it on a back burner. Again, that's what storyline number 556.
Because we can't fit anything else into
but
the season.
No, I think it was in that episode. All the spirits came up and they went away.
Yeah.
and he was one of them. I think it was just a foreshadowing for what Arlene was going to have to deal with this season with Terry. I think that was it. I do not think there's any more behind that with Renee.
Interesting. What do you guys think about this? Let us know. Leave them in
Yeah.
comments. Tweet us.
And obviously Terry and Patrick now.
Yeah. So now they have to kill
Two men
it.
enter, one man leaves.
Oh my god!
I was saving it for predictions.
This was so. Well, we can do predictions.
Yeah, let's do predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
You're still sniffing.
Yeah.
Still sniffing. Oh, before we do this, Emerson Bell says maybe he's Sookie's real father about the vampire.
Yeah. Ooh.
But he would have had to be human.
So then she's what? Then she's half part human, part vampire, and part fairy?
You know, that's an interesting point because, and this technically would be a prediction. If that is the case, that makes sense of why she could jump into him as well.
Right.
And she didn't, because she didn't jump into her dad. She jumped into, that's a really interesting point. Huh. So maybe this is why she can see vampires too.
And is that why that her blood is also so intoxicating?
Well, no, I mean, because he wouldn't have been able to have kids once he was a vampire. So he would have had to do it while he was still human. And then maybe was turned into a vampire.
And then maybe that was their foster dad or something like that. Or maybe she remarried after.
Yeah, or
And
maybe
she
she just stepped out on him. I don't know, but
We're
but
reaching.
No, but I mean, it's certainly interesting because there has to be some reason that she
what
can
else are
jump
we gonna
into
do besides
vampires as well. I mean, if they're related in some way, then that would make sense.
Unless they bring about some sort of thing where she has obviously had that connection with Bill, and therefore that is, we haven't set up the fact that any other fairy has had that same connection. So maybe that's why she's able to relate.
In the books, there is a little adultery. I won't say any in her past in the family, so I'm not gonna, say much more than that. But
You got me thinking. Like,
it's not. It wasn't her mom and dad, but
Okay.
but it's I mean, obviously the fairy blood and all that. So I mean, that got in there somehow, but. Also, Claudine knows him and knows him by name. So, there's
and some of the
too.
fans are already referring that there was a relationship between Woodlow and Claudine. So there's something there, like little hanky-panky.
Yeah, so, all right, you know what? That would be very interesting. It's a very, very good point. All right, now do your prediction, because I just totally...
No. I think
it.
it's about Terry and Patrick. How one of them, like you said, one has to go.
Yeah.
I think Terry's going to be the selfless one, and somehow he's going to sacrifice himself.
No!
We've only got 4 episodes left.
No, I love Terry.
It's building up to that.
I love Terry.
And someone's got to go this season.
Don't get rid of Terry. I love him.
I love him too, but...
Sorry, I sound really whiny, but I do. Devin Priester says it was Halloween, so the spirits were easy to communicate with.
right.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Although it would be interesting to see him come back because his accent was just awesome. I loved his Cajun accent. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing I got this week, I think, is just that the upcoming exit of Terry.
You may be right about that. I hope it's not the case, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
But I want to say he's got kids and Arlene. I don't know. I'm hoping, because I mean Scott Foley's new and Terry's been around and we love Terry. Don't kill off Terry. Scott Foley's a nice man, I'm sure, but I just don't.
I don't think Scott Foley will stick around after this season either. I think somehow he'll leave, but I think Terry's gonna sacrifice himself for the greater good of all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we don't really have news this week, so
Next week.
I'll
bring you guys some stuff.
yes. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go to iTunes, subscribe, and make sure you rate us well, please, because we love you. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me at Jenna Busch, BUSCH, like the beer, not the president.
You can follow me at Yerman, YERMANGUR. And don't forget to tune in Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Except this week it's at 8 for Real Housewives of New York City.
Okay. And you can find me at The Everyday Man. And if you're still into that love stuff after tonight, check me out on Bachelor Pad tomorrow. There's no love, just a lot of games.
Oh, and Roth and I will be doing the Doctor Who show coming up very, very soon. We'll have lots of special guests. So very, very excited about that.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Doctor Who?
Woo!
Awesome.
Dude.
From Bing.com,
Bacon.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.